Hi, is that Spud?
Speaking.
Hi, it's Rory from Team Venom Wrestling and Combat magazine.
How you doing, Lauren?
I'm good. I'm good, thanks. Good talking to you. Yeah, obviously, prior to TNA, you had a tremendous run across the UK. What was it like making the leap to America, to the American audiences of TNA?
All right. Very daunting because as much as you can, get your character across to a smaller audience, it's when how it comes across on the television screen that is more important than the live crowd. How it comes across, does it look small time? Does it look, does it fit? It's all stuff like that really. Like your look matters, your tan matters, the way you move matters, the way you control the audience, control the viewer. It's a different world. I mean, my trainer back in the UK, Barry Sherrilambis, was an editor, and he actually taught me about how to work a ring cam and a hard cam and all stuff like that. But still very daunting because obviously you haven't got the the extravagant entrance way that TNA has. You haven't got the extravagant lighting. All these guys that work so hard for us behind the scenes and don't get the credit they deserve. These are all the things that go into making you a star. So it's all like, that was the most daunting thing. Like when you walk out there, am I still as good as what the audience I've been used to working in front of are telling me? So you find out from there you're probably not as good as you thought you were, and you've got a lot to learn. So that's how I took it. I knew I'd have a lot to learn anyway, and I was happy with that because the more I get to learn, the better I get. So very daunting, but also a tremendous experience just learning how to adapt to it as well, and learning things that worked, things that didn't. I'm very happy with the training I got at OVW, especially from Al Snow and Danny Davis, Rick Rogers there, Frank Miller. So I'm more than happy with the way everything went for me.
Okay, thank you. Obviously, you've been seen as an underdog throughout most of your career. You usually build in that way in matches. Until you recently won the Feast or Fired X Division briefcase. Does this mean we're going to see the end of the underdog side of you?
No, I mean, the thing is, when you say the underdog side, I'm not an underdog. I'm not a badass. I'm not a giant or anything like that. I'm just Rockstar Spud. So if your perception of me in a situation is that I'm the underdog, then in this situation I'm the underdog. Rocky Balboa was the underdog in Rocky 1 and 2, but when it became the Rocky 3, he wasn't the underdog no more, was he? He was Rocky. He was his own man. So the situation I'm in right now with these things. So, but with regards to the X-Division briefcase, I wouldn't say I'm the underdog in that situation at all, because I've got the advantage over whoever's got the X-Division belt to catch that at any point. Just about situation. Situation will make person. I'm still the same person, but the situation will, dictate what stance on personality I am, if that makes sense.
Okay. Obviously, with you being the guy who won the X Division briefcase, can you give us an inkling as to when you're going to be cashing that in?
Well, I don't know. I mean, obviously I've got my hands full with EC3 at the moment, and that's the one goal in my mind is shaving his head. So I mean, everyone goes on about it's hair versus hair. You could have your head shaved, but as much as it's hyped as hair versus hair, this isn't about hair. At the end of the day, this is about entitlement and embarrassment, which everyone can relate to someone that's been bullied. A lot of people have been bullied in their life. That's what this relates to. It's a long year-and-a-half story that's played out in front of people that it's finally going to reach its climax at Wembley Arena, and that's why I can't implore everyone to tune in more, because I wouldn't tell you this if I didn't thoroughly believe it. It's going to be one of the best pro wrestling matches that you've seen, and you're going to remember. You're always going to remember it because we've had a beginning, middle, and end in this movie, and this is where the end is. And you have to see it to believe it, because it's special. It's been a special journey with the two characters anyway, because they the guys on, they became best friends. Then the guy can't take, the fact that his arm was put through a table, and because he's such an entitled, he's blaming everybody around him, including his best friend. So then he bullies him, then he takes advantage of him, and then it's time for this little guy that he's been picked on, who's been so loyal to him, then it's time for him to fight back. And that's when the people got behind Rockstar Spud, because he fought against the bully. So it's all going to come to a head, on Death Dash America this Friday and on Challenge on Sunday, but, it's something you're not going to want to miss, I promise you.
Obviously, you've been a huge part of TNA's British boot camp as both the winner of Season 1 and the host of Season 2. How did it feel to win the first season, and how did it feel going back?
It was amazing, honestly. I put it down to right place, right time, right opportunity, right people seeing me, because as I found out years down the line, I wasn't actually penciled in to win the thing. It was just a case of I got given an opportunity and took the ball and ran with it. It really was that, because I think everything was lined up for the Blossom Twins to be announced as the winners, and then it all got changed because of the way that formed, captured the screen, everything like that. That's what I've been told. Could be other elements, I don't know, but that was just me thinking, right, I'm going to put 2 feet, both arms, backside, head, face, absolutely everything into this. I'm throwing it all in. And if they don't want me, they don't want me. But at least I tried. So it was rewarding in itself. Going back to British Boot Camp 2, it was rewarding, but at the same time, I knew what every one of the people that turned up were going to do, and what they were going through as well. So I tried to help them and reassure them as much as possible, because at the same time they're making a television show, to me, that this is people's lives as well. So you don't want to mess with people's dreams, man, because that's what keeps them going. That's what keeps people waking up. That's what keeps people going to work every day, because on the side they've still got this dream that they want to live out. So you've got to look after those people. And I was with a lot of them. I was friends with a lot of them, and I've been on the road and in car journeys with a lot of them. I just wanted to let everyone know that with me there, that there is, although I'm the host, I'm still that same guy that was in the situation you were. I'll do everything I can to help you. And I hope everybody say that about me when they walked away from that process, because they're all wonderful, wonderful guys. Like the final 16, that night was the most emotional night I think I've ever been a part of in pro wrestling, because it was just, emotions were really high, and they can only take 6 people, and then get people getting told no, and they're really upset, and then I'm getting really upset because I'm an emotional guy as it is. It's just, you just feel for the people, because you don't want it to stop, because you know how good they are. And then the top 6 as well, it was the same thing going forward with them. You couldn't pick a winner, because those 6 out of them all, they all deserve jobs somewhere. But it could only come down to one, and Mark's a wonderful kid. He's a real nice kid, and he's gonna do great things in the business. I really do predict that. But I just hope everybody that ever went to the British Boot Camp doesn't give up, because just because you got told no once doesn't mean you're going to get told no next time. And again, it goes back to right place, right time, right opportunity, and right people seeing you.
Okay. Which auditions, both good and bad, stood out to you the most?
The auditions, as the people, or just the venue? Or
I'd say the overall venue.
Okay. London was probably the most, consistently good. That makes sense. They only got better as we went on. I'm not saying Glasgow was bad, but, Glasgow found its feet, and then Manchester came, and then London came, and, everybody was, excelling more and more. Some of the auditions that really stood out to me, like Shah Samuels, it's just phenomenal. I mean, he's just out of this world, just a brute, a bad guy. He's just excellent, just from start to finish. He's fantastic. Like a real success story from the whole thing was like Richard Parliament. Nobody, and I've been on the UK scene for well over 10 years, none of the boys in the back, not me, not anybody knew who Richard Parliament was. They walked in there, and all three of the judges just fell in love with him, just for his character, and, you know, that, well done to him, because that's another example of just going in there, throwing 2 feet in it, and seeing what you can get out of it, and just going for an opportunity, because there was, you know, I'm told there was a lot of negativity in regards to British Food Camp 2, and everyone's like, oh, you're going for an audition, oh, that's ridiculous. Well, what do you think when you go to other companies, it's called, it might be under the word tryout, but it's still an audition. You know you're going to be on a television show, and, you know, if you get onto, like, taking part, it's still a television show, so it is an audition. A tryout is an audition. So I think everybody was like, oh. So they're the ones that all stayed standoffish, yet the guys that actually went in and threw 2 feet into it, like your Shah Samuels, like your Richard Parliament, they actually reaped the rewards of it, and actually, you know, benefited greatly from it with the exposure, as well as the fact that, you know, they got their characters across on a national basis. So, you know, that's all I'll say to people is, like, if you get given an opportunity, just take it, because guys like that are now going to be seen by a worldwide audience, and, you know, we're putting British Food Camp 2 on pay-per-view now, which is going to be seen by everybody in the US. So, you know, it's a no-loss situation for anybody that ever entered it.
Okay. Moving on from there, I recently saw you at Hope in Mansfield.
Oh, yeah.
How do you find the time balancing between TNA and the UK independent scene?
It's very rare that I'll do a UK independent show, because I'm exclusively a TNA guy more than anything. It's very rare I'll do a US independent show, because I like that exclusivity of being a TNA guy. But it's nice to come back to the UK audience and they receive you as a star, which is really cool. But you know, at the same time, I like, you know, offering help to the guys that are there at the moment, if they want it, obviously. But it's just nice to see people you haven't seen in a long time and work with people you haven't worked with in a long time and stuff. It's just really rewarding. It's really nice because, you know, I have a lot of friends at home and I miss them dearly. I miss my family dearly. So it's really nice just to be able to see people that you've not been able to spend as much time with as you'd like to.
Okay. Obviously, I'm conscious that I know you push for time, so I'll wrap this up. What does the future hold for Rockstar Spud?
I'm only as good as my last match or segment, so you'll have to find out. The future, I'm hoping that, you know, this whirlwind dream will just keep going and keep getting better and better. And you know what? If it doesn't, I'm a 5'4" guy, 150 pounds, and for 14 years there's been people saying that you're not big enough, you can't do it, you can't do this, you can't do that, why don't you just quit, why'd you bother? And that's drove me, and, you know, this Friday and this Sunday, I'm main eventing a worldwide television show in the middle of Wembley Arena in front of 8,000 people. You know, if I can do it, anybody can. And if anyone says that's not a success, whether I leave the business with millions or I leave the business with just memories, you know, you'll never be able to take that away from me, and you'll never be able to take that away from anybody, because, you know, I can look at people, and if I ever have kids later on in the day, I can just always say, like, see this, I did it when I wasn't supposed to, when the business told me I wasn't wanted or shouldn't be anywhere near it, you know, I did it. And I'm just really proud of that, more than anything in the world.
Okay. Well, obviously, thank you very much for taking the time to talk with me. That's been brilliant. And
well, thank you very much, Rory. It's a pleasure, mate. Thank you.
Best
if you need anything else, let me know. And I'll, you know, if you send me Simon the link or me the link, I'll publicise it all over my social media for you. And
yeah, sure.
If there's anything I can do for your Twitter or anything like that, just let me know.
Okay. Also, on a personal, I know you touched upon the boot camp tryouts and stuff and whatnot. I was one of the guys in the Manchester tryouts and stuff. and you were genuinely a very good help when I got rejected. So cheers, man.
Good man. Look, here's the deal. You know, it's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice. And you know, everybody wants to do this. You know what I mean? So it's like I said to you, you've got to look after people. It's people's dreams. At the end of the day, you don't want to make them feel like shit, and because it's not nice. I've been there. I've been where everybody is, and you know, it's that situation. And so, you know, treat people like you want to be treated.
Okay. Right. Well, thanks again, mate, and I'll speak soon. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Lauren.
Cheers. Thank you. Bye.